Dave Hall knew a lot about treasure hunting. He loved walking around the park in Marlborough, Australia, searching for hidden treasures. One day, he found something much more exciting than he had hoped. In 2015, Dave found a strange rock on his usual walking route. It was hard to handle at first, but he eventually managed to take it home. The rock was heavy and seemed special, but Dave didn't want to get his hopes up too high. He thought it might be gold ore, so he tried to break it apart. Despite his efforts, including hitting it with a hammer, he couldn't make a dent. Unsure of what to do, Dave kept the rock at home for 4 years, hoping it had gold inside. In 2019, he finally decided to take it to the Melbourne Museum. At the museum, Hall met geologist Dermot Henry, who is responsible for testing the samples that visitors bring to the museum. A large part of his job involves examining possible meteorites to verify their authenticity. The examination of meteorites is considered an important part of the fields of geology and astronomy, as it contributes to our understanding of the solar system and the process of star formation. Of course, the examination of meteorite samples is serious and comprehensive. Even after working at the museum for 37 years and examining thousands of samples, only 2 of them turned out to be real meteorites. That's why, when Mr. Hall walked into geologist Dermot Henry's office and pulled a large red rock out of his backpack, Henry seemed surprised. "This object looks special," Hall said. Henry seemed intrigued by the moment. Gold assaying is a procedure in which a chemical or physical test is performed on a substance to identify whether it contains real gold or if it is fake. The test is conducted in different ways according to the need. In fact, rock testing can enhance our knowledge of the land, help understand the chemical and physical profiles of rocks and minerals, and assist in the restoration processes of ecological sites and geological areas. Additionally, rock testing may be used in the production and design of new materials, material manipulation, and various technological development studies. The rock had a carved, bumpy appearance, which Henry noted was created when meteorites pass through the atmosphere. They melt from the outside, and the atmosphere sculpts them. Could it really be an authentic meteorite? When Henry picked up the stone, he was even more encouraged. The rock was much heavier than a normal stone found on the Earth's surface, especially given its size. Meteorites are classified into 3 main types according to their composition: stony meteorites, iron meteorites, and stony iron meteorites. The weight of a meteorite is also affected by its size, with larger meteorites generally being heavier than smaller ones of the same composition. Additionally, some meteorites may undergo weathering or erosion processes on the Earth's surface, which can change their weight over time. Overall, while not all meteorites are heavy, certain types, especially iron meteorites and larger iron meteorites, can indeed be quite heavy due to their dense composition and metallic content. After the tests were completed, Henry and Hall were speechless. The red rock was indeed a meteorite, and even more fascinating, its age was extremely impressive. It was estimated to be 4.6 billion years old. The geologists cut the meteorite using a very sharp tool, a diamond saw. What they saw was more impressive than anything the scientist had seen in his many years of work. The cut revealed beautiful silver droplets inside, but not just any droplets. Droplets formed billions of years ago from the incredibly hot cloud of gas that formed our solar system. Mr. Hall soon learned that the meteorite was classified as H5 chondrite and had a very interesting origin story, far more intriguing than any gold deposit could ever be. About 4.6 billion years ago, the universe was very different from what it is today. It was made up of countless rocks and chondrites that surrounded the young sun. Looking at this meteorite was almost like looking at the origins of life itself. These pieces of chondrite eventually joined together to form Earth and the other rocky planets. Fortunately, some of this fascinating material still remains. Most of the remaining chondrite is today found in the asteroid belt between Jupiter and Mars. Every now and then, 2 pieces collide, resulting in a unique event. When this celestial collision occurs, the impact sends fragments of that particular rock toward Earth. Thus, the piece of chondrite discovered by Mr. Hall began its journey to Earth. Due to the lack of alteration, it is likely that this piece has only been on Earth for less than 200 years. It is possible that someone saw this rock fall. In the 1950s, people in Marlborough reported seeing strange fireballs in the night sky. Experts today wonder if Dave Hall's meteorite might be connected to a similar event nearby. In September 1969, the village of Murchison in Victoria, Australia, buzzed with talk about a mysterious meteorite that flew across the sky with a loud noise. After it landed, people searched the area for its remains. The community worked together to find any space debris and discovered many shards that seemed to come from space. Most of these shards were gray with grooves, like clay. One odd thing about the rocks was their smell. They had an odor like a New Jersey skunk, similar to tar or strong alcohol. While some people had to hold their breath, others weren't bothered by the smell. According to K. Ball, president of the Murchison and District Historical Society, some people thought the rock smelled like wet. Hey, the meteorite caught everyone's attention as piles of particles were sent to research institutes around the world. Professors and scientists were eager to study them closely. After crushing a marble-sized piece of celestial rock, David Damer, a research professor of biomolecular engineering at the University of California, Santa Cruz, noted a strange, pungent smell coming from the crater, smoky, dusty, and sour at the same time. In his book First Life, Discovering the Connections Between Stars, Cells, and How Life Began, Damer goes on to say that, in his opinion, the smell resembled a cigar butt or the contents of a vacuum cleaner bag. If we remembered these detailed descriptions of the smell, as if they were taken directly from a luxury perfume ad, we know that the scent of meteorites changes over time while the pieces of rock remain on the Earth's surface. It all depends on the circumstances in which the fragile rocks are placed. When meteorites reach Earth, they bring with them a wealth of information about star formation and other mysteries of the universe. They are like solving a mystery from another world. But to access most of this information, researchers often have to smash meteorites. Meteorites contain isotopes that decay over time at known rates. By measuring the abundance of these isotopes, scientists can determine the age of the meteorite and, by extension, the age of the solar system. This helps in understanding the timing of key events such as the formation of planets and asteroids. Meteorites also preserve evidence of various processes that occurred in the early solar system, such as melting, crystallization, and differentiation. Studying these processes provides insights into the conditions that existed in the early solar nebula and how planets and other bodies formed and evolved. Scientists from the University of Chicago, the Field Museum, and other groups worked together on a 2020 study to find ancient minerals from our sun called precellar grains in the meteorite. They crushed the rock to get these valuable grains, then put the powder into test tubes. The tubes were cooled with liquid nitrogen, heated with hot water, and treated with strong acids. Jonica Greer, a graduate student involved in the study, found that some of the precellar grains from the Murchison meteorite were 5.5 to 7 billion years old. After the rock was exposed to extreme temperatures, it started to smell like rotten peanut butter. She thinks this smell change happened because gases and ice trapped in the meteorite slowly evaporated over time. The piece of the Murchison meteorite at the Murchison and District Historical Society no longer smells bad. It now has a faint earthy scent. The Murchison meteorite isn't the only one with a strong smell. Researchers also found another chondrite named after a town in Costa Rica where it landed around 2019. This rock, called cosmic mud, had organic compounds and smelled like cooked sprouts or compost. However, Jonica detected a hint of vanilla in it. To be clear, these scientists weren't trying to play scratch and sniff with meteorites, but they couldn't resist the opportunity. As Jonica Greer said, scientists are human too. Sometimes our noses get the best of us.